Despite sustained political pressure and strategic attempts by the ruling United Party for National Development, or UPND, to diminish its influence, Zambia's Patriotic Front, or PF, continues to demonstrate resilience and a growing base of public support. According to former Agriculture Minister and PF member Honorable Grerford Monde, efforts to politically neutralize the opposition have not only failed, but have inadvertently galvanized citizens around the PF, reinforcing its relevance in Zambia's evolving political landscape. Monde's remarks, delivered during a recent media appearance, reflect a broader sentiment among PF loyalists and political analysts who argue that the party's grassroots appeal remains intact, particularly in regions where economic dissatisfaction and governance concerns persist. He emphasized that the more the UPND government seeks to suppress the PF, whether through legal challenges, public criticism, or administrative maneuvers, the more ordinary Zambians perceive the opposition as a victim of political overreach, thereby rallying behind it as a symbol of resistance and alternative leadership. This dynamic has become increasingly evident in the wake of economic challenges facing the UPND administration. Issues such as rising commodity prices, inconsistent agricultural policy, and perceived gaps in service delivery have created fertile ground for opposition narratives. Monde, drawing on his experience in the agricultural sector, criticized the current government's handling of farming and livestock development, noting a decline in productivity and a lack of strategic investment compared to the PF's tenure. He cited the stagnation in aquaculture and cattle farming as emblematic of broader policy failures that have alienated rural communities and weakened Zambia's food security. The PF, once dominant and now repositioning itself as a populist opposition force, has capitalized on these grievances by re-engaging with its traditional support bases and amplifying its message through community outreach and media platforms. Monde's assertion that the PF is not shrinking, but rather expanding in influence, is supported by recent political mobilizations, including rallies, constituency visits, and digital campaigns that highlight the party's legacy and critique the current administration's shortcomings. Political observers note that the PF's resurgence is not merely a reaction to UPND's governance, but also a reflection of Zambia's cyclical political culture, where opposition parties often gain traction during periods of economic uncertainty and public discontent. The PF's strategy appears to hinge on portraying itself as a stabilizing force with experience in governance, while simultaneously positioning itself as a defender of democratic norms and institutional integrity. Monde's comments also touch on a deeper psychological and symbolic dimension of Zambian politics. In a context where political identity is often shaped by perceived injustice and collective memory, attempts to marginalize a major party can backfire, reinforcing narratives of persecution and resistance. The PF's ability to tap into these sentiments has allowed it to maintain relevance even as it navigates internal restructuring and leadership transitions. Furthermore, the PF's communication strategy has evolved to meet the demands of a digitally connected electorate. By leveraging social media, radio, and community networks, the party has managed to sustain visibility and engage younger voters who may not have experienced its previous governance, but are drawn to its messaging on economic empowerment and national pride. In conclusion, Honorable Grerford Monde's statement encapsulates a broader political reality in Zambia. Opposition movements, when targeted aggressively, often gain strength through public sympathy and strategic repositioning. The PF's continued presence and growing support suggest that political competition remains robust, and that efforts to silence dissent may only serve to amplify it. As Zambia approaches future electoral cycles, the interplay between governance performance and opposition resilience will likely shape the country's democratic trajectory in profound ways.